Bienvenidos a Zoo TV. Let's go for a drive in our luxury transport and I'll show you some of the Zooropa setup.
U2 ha marcado en su gira Zooropa 93 un hito en la representación de un espectáculo de rock. Este reportaje recorre uno a uno todos los rincones de Zoo TV y desvela el modo en que se ha organizado la puesta en escena de su complejo y sofisticado entramado. El gran musical estuvo con el grupo desde el comienzo de su gira europea en Rotterdam, siguió su paso por España el pasado mes de mayo y retransmitió vía satélite desde Sydney a finales de noviembre el concierto con el que el grupo cerró su gira Zooropa 93. La estética agresiva, el ruido organizado y el tratamiento de vídeo han sido las claves de un espectáculo elaborado íntegramente con el lenguaje de la televisión.
Let's go somewhere. We need about a day and a half to set up. If all goes well, we'd arrive at the stadium in the morning the day before the show and put it all in. About 36 hours is what we need to put it up. So we've done it in shorter, but it gets a bit uncomfortable.
Hello, 1, 2, 2, 1.
From a crew point of view, we have a on the road total of about 187 people at the moment. When you add in the band party, the management party, it grows to about 230 touring people on the road with us every day at every venue. Our crew party travel in 13 buses. We carry production in 26 48-foot trucks. The steel system, which is actually two systems, two entirely different stages, traveling on 10 trucks each.
The new video screens we have taken the most time. The walls that we have here are made up of individual cubes, as you can see, and each one of those cubes breaks apart from the rest of it. And they're hung in long columns. Each column is stacked up and built and gradually gets bigger and bigger and goes up. And then they come together and make the one big screen. But because they're new to us, they've taken the most time this time round. And plus they're very heavy, so that screen weighs 12 tons. So.
America, the three big screens that you see up, I mean the 4 video walls on stage are identical. They're the exact same walls that we used all through America and through Europe last year. The big screens had to change. In America they were soft screens. It was a back projection system. That was fine in America because in America every time the band went on it was dark. In Europe at best they'll be going on at dusk, so we needed something that was a lot brighter.
I think using all the things we have, the TVs, you know, all the shash, all the whatever you want to call it, having all that just helps to deflate the importance of rock and roll.
What are we selling? We're selling chaos here at Zoo TV.
We started 2 years ago with an idea, with a concept for a show which would be quite different from the way that other rock shows have been. And over the 2 years, that idea has grown and developed, and more ideas have come in, and more things have been added to it. So there weren't problems really coming outdoors, but it was just a very different setting. In fact, in many ways, the show works better outdoors because the show feels so big. When it was indoors, you felt like it was straining to get out. You know, you felt like the roof was going to come off the place. Whereas now we're outdoors and it can really spread out.
U2 presentó en España, en abril de 1991, los conciertos para espacios interiores de Zoo TV. El grupo llevó a San Sebastián y a Barcelona un deslumbrante espectáculo basado en la fuerza visual de los monitores. 12 coches Trabant, originales de la antigua República Democrática Alemana, completaron un espectáculo inédito en su género.
Last year through Europe, we made a sort of a gesture towards translating some of the things, but this time there's a lot more stuff, which is either in a lot of languages or is in the language for the country. So when we get to Spain, there'll be a lot more Spanish in the show than there was last year, which I'm very pleased about because it's, I think with the songs and with the song words, it's okay because everyone knows the songs in English. But I think when you come to a foreign country, just to give them a show in English is kind of a bit rude, really. So we've tried anyway.
There's no rule of thumb to say this image works and that image doesn't work. If we think it'll work, we'll try it, and if it doesn't work, we'll throw it out just as quickly.
In many ways, having the election in America last year was perfect for us. And as you say, there's basically one language. So we felt coming over here would be difficult. But the thing is, Europe's such an interesting place at the moment because at the same time as it unifying, it's also disintegrating. And there's so many cultures and there's so many languages and so many things to draw on. It's actually been far more interesting. I think this show is a far more interesting show than the American show. Let's go and have a look at one of the trapeze, shall we? So this is one of the famous trapeze. This is our favourite. This is Tigger. As you can see, this is a nice fur-covered number. Here it is in the luxury interior. We have various lights and strobes in there. You may want to. There we go. So we've taken out the engine and all the seats, and it drives probably about as well as it did before we took them out. We left the steering wheel in, and of course when they're parked, it's always important to put the handbrake on. No, we're down to 4 now actually. We're down to 4, but they're still with us. They're still a gesture. The Trabi was kind of last year's thing, but we've kept a few on for old time's sake because most of Europe didn't get to see them.
Cuando Zooropa llegó a los grandes estadios, los coches perdieron parte de su anterior protagonismo.
Well, of course, like any other tour, really, we're only in it for the money. But being Zoo TV, we have our own money here. This is what we get paid in. This is the Zoo EQ. There we go, and there's our picture of our president on the back here. This is a fine piece of work. These are the only currency that's acceptable on the tour, right? This is the only thing you can use. When you go and buy dinner and that kind of thing, you have to get these. We get paid in these. And we find it works simpler, really, you know, because there's so many different currencies in Europe. That was kind of inconvenient, so we just printed our own, and it's fine. I actually bought 2 beers at a bar in Rotterdam the other day with one of these, so they do work. Okay.
Absolutamente todo vale en Zoo TV. Cualquier objeto, por absurdo que sea, forma automáticamente parte de su filosofía. No hay un solo rincón del estadio en que no aparezca el famoso sello Zoo TV.
Yeah, well, we like them. This belongs to the Fly. The Fly is a fairly formidable character, and this is his mic stand, and we don't mess with his mic stand. Okay, so I think we should move on.
Subjects on me. Hello, 1, 2. Check 1. 2, 1.
Una de las formas más curiosas que tiene el público de interactuar con el grupo es a través del videoconcesionario. Todo el que entra en la cabina es grabado por una cámara de vídeo. Las imágenes más divertidas son luego emitidas por las pantallas gigantes.
Este es un baile para Mysterious Ways. Lo mejor, YouTube. Entonces, lo mejor que hay.
Que vamos a ser muy buenas. No, una tontería.
I mean, there's no way to run a Gallup poll as people leave the stadium to say what do you think worked and what do you think didn't work. I mean, you get that feeling yourself from what you see and the way it interacts with the band. And that's the most important thing all the way through anyway. Whatever else this is, it's like another instrument. It's a backdrop to a rock band.
La gran diferencia de Zooropa respecto de otros conciertos de rock de estas dimensiones es la espontaneidad. La interacción entre los propios miembros de U2, el público y las pantallas gigantes es tal que cada concierto del grupo se convierte en una experiencia única e irrepetible.
Uptown Baby, the audio and technical aspects of it are fairly outrageous. To take it on board and to bring it into this context, we have the best part of the studio on the road with us because of the amount of treatments and different effects and the ways that we did things in the studio. We've had to do a lot of sampling, a lot of sequencer stuff, a lot of treatments, in particular in the vocal area, where we pioneered quite a lot of incredible treatment technology-wise on this last record, and it's, you know, to get that, we have the best part of the studio on the road with us.
Gracias al sistema PS, los técnicos han conseguido solucionar el retardo de la señal. De esta forma, el sonido puede ser escuchado perfectamente desde el fondo del estadio.
Now we're going to head down into the most exciting part of the whole show, which is Underworld. This is where it all goes on. This is where all the guts of the system is. We're going to meet a very interesting person called Des, who looks after all of the sequences and all of the computers down here. And here's some interesting sounds, so let's go. Hello, Des.
Sounds and sounds. Wait.
How about satellite?
Oh.
Or is that tough? Is that a tough one?
Not linked.
But Desire? Desire's good.
Yeah, okay.
Desire's good with all the...
No.
Okay,
Yeah, but I'm in a completely different mode, so it's quite difficult. Yeah. Some of the songs were rearranged slightly to give them a lot more freedom on stage. Right. Just playing 2 or 3 samplers at the one time with.
Yeah, improvisation for us is something that just happens in the middle of the songs, you know. It's not like somebody calls for a long solo or we go to the bass or drums. It's sometimes as we're performing, new ideas just present themselves as we go along. Sometimes we actually remember them and we bring them into the same song at a different show, but it's really it can happen to you in songs you've played for 3 or 4 years. Suddenly you'll just find that there's something new coming through, and we tend to just follow those ideas down if they happen on stage.
As we feed round about 230 up to 400 people a day for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So it's quite hectic, quite busy. So. The band tend to eat similar things every day, the same as there's a lot of Irish crew as well. So the major overriding factor is that there's potatoes every day.
Let's go, Dad. Come on. What do you want to know? So you're from Spain?
Oh, who's lying?
Yeah, every time we do actually cheat. We do actually make it sometimes. But when we're in Spain, there's some excellent places that make it. So we tend to buy it in. We have it brought in because it's just so good in LA. And it's a good favourite actually when we're in Spain. The band enjoy it as well.
Yeah, look, we get blisters for you too. How's that? But Irish band, potatoes, it sort of goes hand in hand.
Zoo TV es una verdadera ciudad dentro de la ciudad. La mayor parte de las 230 personas que trabajan en ella es de nacionalidad irlandesa. Como si de una gran familia se tratara, cada unidad aporta en el proceso de producción su granito de arena, pero nadie ha podido acceder al resultado global. Muchos de los que trabajan en Zoo TV no han podido ver todavía el espectáculo de U2. No es posible estar a la vez en el puesto de trabajo y ser espectador de Zoo TV. Gracias al sistema de intercom, es posible localizar rápidamente a cualquier persona en esta ciudad. Peter Williams intenta encontrar a Dallas Shue, encargado del cuidado de las guitarras de The Edge.
Okay, here I am.
Where are you, Dallas? Say that again?
This is Dallas.
Yes, I know it's you, Dallas, but where are you?
I've been looking at these strawberries.
Looking at strawberries. We've got a Spanish TV crew here wanting to talk to you, and you're looking at strawberries. Big news, Dallas. You're going to be very big in Spain, all right? So get those guest tickets ready. What's your favorite thing about Spain, Dallas?
My favorite thing about Spain, besides the wine, is their classical guitars, the nylon guitars. They're well made.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you very much. That was Dallas Shue.
Back to my strawberries now.
Yeah, you go back there. That was Dallas Shue, who looks after all of Edge's guitars. We're going to have a look at some.
We play completely differently in rehearsal than in front of an audience. It's quite incredible, the adrenaline and as you say, that constant audience band connection makes it's like you can't compare. Larry plays differently, plays louder, and all the time there's this constant thing where you're feeling the audience, whether they're with you or not with you. And
now we're in the place where all of the Edge's guitars are kept. We're just at the side of the stage, underneath the stage. This is where Dallas works, Dallas Shue. He looks after all of Edge's guitars. Edge has trillions of guitars, and I don't know anything about them, but here they all are. You can see them all here. And yeah, there's lots and lots of them. Quite how one man can use so many guitars in such a short space of time, I don't know, but... see, they all have names. This is Black E2 here. This is Black E2, Grey EC. This is a Yamaha 2000. I have no idea what any of this means, but I'm sure it's all terribly interesting for guitar buffs. And I really shouldn't touch them because I'll probably break something, but I'll just show you my favourite guitar. This is my favourite. This one here is my favourite. I'm sorry, Dallas, I shouldn't really do this, I know, but this one's my favourite. Remember this one? I love this guitar. This guitar is older than any of us, isn't that a strange thought? This guitar was made before any of the band were born, and it's my favourite. It goes way back. It reminds me of gigs from many years ago, so I'll put it back, but don't tell Dallas we took it out, okay? So here we are on stage. These three people here are the linchpin of the road crew. This is Sam O'Sullivan, the drum tech. So Sam, a few words about working with one of the finest drummers in the world. Just give us a 2 minutes on the drum kit here.
A tour?
Yeah, a little 2 minute tour.
Okay, basically it's quite a small drum kit, as you can see. It's Yamaha. Real special thing about the kit is that it's got a Brady snare, which is really cool. It's a 12-inch diameter snare, and it's quite powerful. And it made a sound sort of the last album, which is quite cool. Small kit, and there you have it. All right.
for just over about a year. Bass guitar I've done for about 5 years with different bands. With U2 just for about a year.
Cada uno de los 4 músicos de U2 tiene un asistente encargado del cuidado de sus instrumentos y de realizar las primeras pruebas de sonido. Ellos son los otros U2.
Oh, it's kind of a strange thing, I suppose. To me, you have to accept them as being stars, but at the same time, they're very normal, down-to-earth people that like to get up in the morning and eat breakfast and drive their car and stuff, you know. And I suppose when you work this close to them for a period of time, you accept that they are stars and have to carry out a persona as such, but they are quite normal people. They're like, you know. Spain, I haven't really been involved in doing too many concerts in Spain, I must admit. The last time I was in Spain was Madrid. I've been in Madrid and Barcelona. I think Madrid was probably the best concert. And it was probably in 1987 or 88 in the football stadium. Pretty wild. Good audience.
This is the Royal Telephone, which we're just sound checking here. Some of the finest sound engineers in the business here. On this very telephone we have called. Presidents have been called, pizzas have been ordered. We even called John Major one day. What do you think about Spain?
My favorite thing about Spain, well, one particular bull arena that we played at was really interesting. The buildings, and just the lifestyle of people in general. Everything, of course, the great beer they have, and next week, hey, next week we'll be there in Spain.
I couldn't answer that really at this point in time. I'm not going to get into that.
No.
The fly and bono, nope.
The fly still, raises the hair on the back of my neck. It's just such an enormous thing.
Well, I think when Bono's talking about that, there's a certain amount of irony in what he's saying. Things change, between the band members, our position in the decision-making and the planning and the ideas. It's always ebbing and flowing. But we are essentially a four-piece band and a band in a real sense.
Este es el camerino que ha utilizado Bono para caracterizarse como Mephisto. La publicación, a comienzos del pasado mes de julio del álbum Zooropa, ha dado argumentos al grupo para la creación de nuevos gags.
The spontaneity bit comes in that we're going to change pretty much every image. The first show is on Sunday. If somebody goes to the first show and the last show and they see the same image twice, they should just yell snap, because we will be changing these things all the way through. On top of that, the band are still very much in control. They decide, a lot of the stuff will be fired in off their sequences.
I think still my favourite piece is when the band are just in the middle of the stadium. There's no effects, no video, no nothing. It's just the four of them in the little stage in the middle of the arena. And the thing that's great about that is when you have a show that's this excessive, you almost have to prove that you don't need the technology. Because at the end of the day, they can still go out there and play. Just the four of them can go out there and play, and it's still great. And it just proves that all this stuff isn't here because they need it. It's not here to prop them up, it's just here because they want it.
I don't know what Zoo TV is, so I guess it must be art.
U2 ha roto barreras y ha marcado un hito en el futuro de las macrorepresentaciones en directo. Cuando dentro de 30 años recordemos cómo fueron los 90, pensaremos en U2 igual que pensamos en los Beatles o en los Stones cuando recordamos los 60.
Los mejores momentos se viven con Valentines.